I think of all the times we lay looking up out at the stars. Nervous of the way you make me feel. You're setting fire to my heart. Before you, oh, what was that? I don't recognize, now I'm looking back. How I adore you, it can't be matched, no. All my love, I have only love for you. We're all in over head and heart, but tell me who could have known? Oh, honestly, I never thought we'd meet and fall and land into this truth. Oh, before you, oh, what was that? I don't recognize, now I'm looking back. How I adore you, it can't be matched, no.
Tender and kind, built over time. This is my love for you. Steady and pure, patient and sure. This is my love for you. So shout from the city gates, hear heaven bless this day. Let all the elders say that this love was worth the wait. Let go and hear the sound, pull all the barriers down. I'll cherish the one I found. Yeah, this is my love for you. This is my love for you. Let the sound be heard, let the songs be sung. I have found the one that this heart loves. Let the veil be torn, save yourself no more. Let this love in me find a home in yours. So shout from the city gates, hear heaven bless this day. Let all the elders say that this love was worth the wait. Let go and hear the sound. Pull all the barriers down. I'll cherish the one I found. This is my love for you. This is my love for you. This is my love for you.
Maybe we live in Vegas or a house with picket fencing. Oh, what our love could do. If I got you, babe, you got me. Oh, what our love could do. Maybe we'll pick up fishing or start a family at Nancy. Oh, what our love could do. If I got you, babe, you got me. Oh, what our love could do. Oh, what our love could do. Honey, oh, what our love could do.
Stay, even for a moment, that's okay. Even if the sky is turning gray. Hey, we can talk it over, that's okay. We will find a path to do it all our way. I'm holding tight the words you wanna say. I'm a place for you to sing your heart away. We can talk it over, that's okay. I promise to the love we own is here to stay. Wake up from the bottom of the ocean floor. Do you want it? Yes, I do. Wake up from the bottom of the ocean floor.
bride, father and mother of the groom, family, friends, and everybody else. You're all very welcome to the Honourable Society of King's Inns to continue the celebrations to honour the marriage of Niamh and Brian. So, once I have the mic, I could go all night, but I've been told to keep it brief. So, without further ado, could you please be upstanding for the bride and groom, Mr. and Mrs. Niamh and Brian. It's me again. So, to be fair to the bride and groom, I was just going to say, to be fair to the bride and groom, this is one of the nicer places I've ever been at a wedding. And, they say that marriage is a lot like studying law or being a barrister, because it's not full of arguments, but it teaches you patience and listening skills. And above all, it teaches you how to say, "You're absolutely right." But first up are two people that I've known almost as long as I've known Brian himself. They're warm, they're kind. Please give a hand of applause to Brian's parents, Anne and Kieran.
I thought you were going first.
No, you're going first.
Thank you, Zach, for that introduction. I thought, because Niamh is an Irish speaker, I might have an attempt at welcoming everybody in Irish. So, Bwailam, Falchia Kerr, Roa Fiulig, Guji, and Sar Onat Shaw. Uncommon Honour Ach, Osti Unri, and Shaw, Awalya Clear. Tasig a hintak T Lan Karja Isgilta Echo. Boyle and Niamh, Brian, Sue, Tomas, Anne, Agus Lum Hian, or Moyes, Argo Live You Lake. I'll do the better, more comfortable. Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to welcome you all to this magnificent venue, the Honourable Society of King's Inns, Dublin. It's Ireland's oldest law school and a very significant historical place in Irish history. It was but the lands and buildings were granted by Henry VIII. I know that's not a name that springs to mind when you're talking about marital bliss. But aside from that, I hope you all agree it's a very nice setting for Brian and Niamh's wedding. I know that some of you have travelled long distances to be with us, and it's nice to see so many family and friends. And we'd like to welcome everybody, and we appreciate all the effort that people have gone to. I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome Niamh's family into our family. We're very pleased to do that. Secondly, Ireland is renowned the world over for its artistic talent, and I think this afternoon we had a magnificent display of that at the ceremony from the musicians. I'd like to thank the musicians for the lovely music. I'd also like to thank my lovely wife Anne here for the beautiful flowers. There's a lot of stress getting them here, but I think Manus is okay. Now I've got to talk about Brian. He polished up well, didn't he?
Sure did.
Brian has been a very independent and confident, determined son. It reminds me of the time when he was quite young, he must have been 3 or 4. We were having some work done and it required a digger. It so happened on that day I had to do a message as well, so Brian was left with my mother, my late mother, with strict instructions that he was not to be allowed anywhere near the digger. But Brian had other ideas, so I went and done my message and I come back and I asked my mother, "Where's Brian?" She said, "Look out the window." And I looked out the window, there was Brian. Not only at the digger, but sitting up in the cab with the driver with a big smile on his face. He still remembers that to this day. He's conscientious, hardworking and committed. And I always remember at one of the parent-teacher meetings we went to, the teacher said to us, whenever we were getting an inspection by the Department of Education, we always like to present Brian's books because they're methodical, annotated, and all the headings are underlined in red where they should be. So when he set his sights on becoming a solicitor, we had no doubt that he would achieve this, and we were very, very proud when he did. When I was thinking about this speech, I thought, how would I sum Brian up? And I recall a conversation I had with a woman. She was talking about her son. And she told me all the good points he had, and at the end of it, she said, I'd sum him up by saying, he's a heart of gold, he'd give you the shirt off his back. And I think that's why I would sum Brian up. He has a heart of gold, but he'd give you the shirt off his back. The only caveat I'd add to that is, in his early days, there's a good chance that shirt would have been mine already. And now I need to say something about Niamh. Isn't she? It's all good. Isn't she looking stunning today? Over the years, we've got to know Niamh. We've got to know she's a good sense of humour. She's good fun to be with, and she enjoys life. She's compassionate, caring, and hardworking. She's also very intelligent and an accomplished musician and a qualified lawyer. Who would have thought Brian was marrying one of the smartest people in Ireland? Yeah, I lost my place there, sorry. Anne and I are delighted that Brian and Niamh are now married. As I said before, we're delighted to welcome Niamh's family into ours. We wish them a long and happy marriage together.
And now it's my turn.
This was a joint speech, but I think I got the lion's share of it.
Well, hello everyone, again. Well, I'm going to tell you and be honest. We had a long week debating over the speeches and who was going to say what and when we were going to say it and in what order were we going to say it. And I think I can safely say that I got the very easy part because what grandmother doesn't like to stand in front of a room full of lovely people and talk about their lovely granddaughter, Niamh and Brian's daughter, Cara. She is just beautiful and she was stunning today. She nearly stole your thunder there, Niamh. She was absolutely lovely. She has brought us great joy into our lives and she has most definitely enriched our lives and transformed our lives 100%. So thank you, Niamh and Brian, for Cara. We have spent The past 15 months, watching videos, text messages, photographs, and we have watched Cara growing up over this last few months, from her first attempt at crawling, from her standing up, from her walking, and even when she got her first tooth, and even down to her very first words last week. So we have been very honoured indeed. And as I say, she's just a real beautiful wee girl. We have had the great pleasure of going over to London on several visits since Cara's been born, and indeed before, may I add. So it has been a real pleasure, and I must say, I just want to take this opportunity to thank Brian and Niamh for your very kind hospitality. Those of you that have experienced Brian's hospitality knows that it's second to none. I just want to say as well that you were very good, you're very kind, you're very sharing, you're lovable, you're fantastic parents with Cara, and it's always a real pleasure to visit in London, albeit, as I say, when we go to London, I know that we have you tortured with our telephone calls during our journey. For example, I think we might be on the wrong train. I think we've got off at the wrong stop. Where should we be? We don't see our destination on the notice board in the train. And so it goes on. And as Jack says, lawyers make you patient. So I really do thank you for your patience. And we are so looking forward to the next years seeing Cara grow and having you, Niamh, into our family. It is just fantastic. So thank you so, so much. I'm now going to hand you back to Kieran, who's just going to say a final few words, and then it'll be your turn.
It's traditional at this stage to give some advice to a newly married couple. Now, that's always difficult to do, and all marriages are unique, and everyone finds their own way in their marital journey. But when I was thinking about it, I thought about it in the words of a song by Bruce Springsteen, which said, "Should we lose each other in the shadow of the evening trees? I'll wait for you. Should I fall behind, wait for me." That's what sums it up. Take time to wait on each other so you remain in step. Final thing I've got to do is propose a toast. So if everybody could be upstanding. I'd like to propose a toast to Niamh Brian and wish them a long and happy life together. To Niamh and Brian. Sláinte. I'll hand you back to Jack.
Well said. Thanks a million, Alan and Kieran. When you're on a roll, you don't stop. So we're going to stick with the parents. I first met Tom at Brian's stag. And Brian has this great way of kind of plumping you up. So I said afterwards, I think I got on very well with Tom. He said, yeah, you're both men of culture. And then I met Sue for the first time today. I said to him, I think I'm getting on very well with Sue. He said, you're both women of style. I said, you want to pay a bit more attention now, Brian? But what you may not know about, well, what a lot of people in this room will know about Tom, but some may not, is that he's a heart maker. And I was watching the 6-1 News about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I saw 3 things. First, my keen eye, as Sue would agree now, I saw one of Tom's harps. Secondly, I said, what's that doing abroad in Japan? And thirdly, I noticed who was playing it. Only a former but current, and soon to be former again, Taoiseach, Micheál Martin. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, the mother and father of the bride, Tom and Sue.
Well, hard to follow Kieran and Anna, to be fair, so we'll hopefully So on behalf of Tom and myself, I would like to welcome you all here today, and thanks for joining us on this wonderful day. I just want to kind of make a special mention to families. First of all, I'd like to welcome and say thank you to the extended Monaghan family, Anne and Kieran, Ciara, Stephen, Cormac and Ava, Neil and Vanessa, and all the extended Monaghan's and McGee's and Collinses and all the rest of you. I'm looking forward to meeting you all later. It's been lovely getting to know you all over the last few years, and it's been clear where Brian gets his wonderful sense of loyalty, friendship and kindness, because we experienced that the other day in your lovely house and lovely lunch, and you were just fabulous. I'd like to welcome Tom's family here, to Brendan, Kevin and to Maeve. Thank you for joining us on this gorgeous day. We really appreciate it. To my own clan of McDonough's, yeah, the rowdy bunch, see them on the dance floor later, me included, hopefully. My sisters, Clet and Ev, sure, where would I be without you? My brothers, Paddy and Enda and Brendan, and all their partners and children, thanks for your ongoing love, support for all our occasions. You're a great crowd, and for being here today to share our celebrations. So it's said that in family life, love is the oil that eases friction, the cement that binds us closer together, and the music that brings us harmony. I thought that was a nice quote. So, Garmila Magweb Galer, August Shaw, A Tom Anish.
Thanks very much, Sue. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's with enormous joy and happiness that we welcome you all here today. As Kieran said, we extend a special welcome to those who have travelled over long distances. Over the course of our lives, we have many good days, but today's a great day. And we are so happy to be here and with family and friends. More glasses. Niamh came into the world shortly after 6 a.m. on the 13th of May, after some consideration on whether she would come out at all. But emerge she did, and she taught us how to be parents, as we really hadn't much of a clue. Her two sisters have continued our education. We have been fortunate in our families and extended families as we reared our big girls, our girls. My big sister Brenda swept into our house when Niamh was born and helped us believe that we would survive the ordeal. There's also a huge cousins things going on in our family. Any occasion, the cousins are first in the door, and this is really deeply appreciated. Good to see you guys. At this stage, the cousins are like a mobile village. If there's a party, they're there. Our extended family also includes Mary and Phil Kenny, and we're so honoured that you're both here today because they help us rear our three girls, and they've been a part of our family for so long. So thank you. Niamh has many qualities, as I'm sure you know. From a very young age, she was quite self-contained. When she was in preschool, we would ask her what she did today. The answer was always sunny and sand. And to this day, we haven't a clue what she did. Many of you know that Niamh is very musical. In fact, she aspired to make a career in music after she'd abandoned her earlier ambitions of being a hairdresser and a librarian. Niamh was very shy, and she wouldn't join the tin whistle class, only if she could be in the same class as her cousin Sinead. So I had to blag my way to get her into the class. But all the lights went on when she played music, and to this day she's lifelong friends with the wonderful musicians who played for us today. And I remember you guys when you were under 14, under 15, under 16 in a group of kills that I had. And I have to say I was hugely moved to see you there today doing what you do so well. Thanks so much, guys. Friendship is a value that Niamh has always cherished. I see people here today who sat beside her on the first day in primary school. Miriam, Maeve, Sive. It's a good day. She has maintained friends with her college friends, her trad friends, her law friends, her work friends, which is it's a great endorsement of anyone to have such connections with people. One of our greatest joys, as the Monaghan's have said, is to see the relationship that she has with her own daughter and the love and the care that they both showered upon her. I have to say, it's the biggest privilege of our lives at this chapter. Also, the privilege of seeing the enduring friendship between our three girls is wonderful, and they've had a super example from their mother and their sisterhood, who are... We couldn't be more proud of her, and we wish her every happiness in her life with Brian. Speaking of Brian, I would like to formally welcome you into the family. But you know, you've been part of our family for quite a long time now. As we got to know Brian, we realised that he was very well reared. Kieran and Anne, you've done a tremendous job, and he's a credit to you. Brian is a very focused man with huge ambition and exceptionally talented in many ways. He's also very funny and takes delight in winding up Niamh quite regularly. It's seldom we catch him out, but there was one occasion during lockdown when we were having a family quiz and the doorbell rang. I came back into the room with a beautiful, creamy pint of Guinness. Brian's eyes hopped out of his head. I explained there was a lad driving around the estate with a keg in the back of the van selling pints. I had him. Brian's many qualities are impressive. He's an awesome cook. He's an extraordinary affinity with an iron. No shirt is safe. Meeting various friends of Brian over the past while, we see the warmth and affection reflected in them. However, the quality I most admire about him is his kindness. He is kindness personified to Niamh and Cara, and we couldn't be happier. Getting to know Brian has introduced us to the Monaghans and the McGee and the Hines families, and we're delighted to be connected with these people. I see Stephen and Kieran are wondering, will they have their children back at the end of the day, because we're making a fairly good play here, you know. It's a custom, as Kieran said, for the father of the bride to offer words of wisdom to the newlyweds, but I'll decline this opportunity. You both have received the very best that the McGilligoids and the Monaghans have to give. Back yourselves, believe in yourselves, and we believe in you. Gemara Shiv in Versailles Nua. So I propose a similar toast to the bride and groom, so please be upstanding.
Thanks, Tom. Sorry, thank you. Bravo. Well said.
Jack, get up that back, we're done now.
You can relax now. Thanks, guys. Hang on to
Now, our next speaker, Roisin, is the maid of honour. Roisin, Brian and I, we have a unique burden. Sometimes we ask Jesus himself to come down off the cross and let us up for a rest, because we're the second children in all our families. But being a second child, it's kind of like being the sequel to a blockbuster. Lower budget, less hype, and somehow still blamed for everything that went wrong in the original. So ladies and gentlemen, the most beautiful maid of honour a man could ask for, and one of the only women you'll ever see me walk down an aisle, Roisin McGilligoid.
Thank you, Jack. I've known Niamh my whole life. And I consider myself exceptionally lucky to have such a caring, witty, generous older sister. However, it hasn't always been the easiest to follow in the steps of the 8A1 800-point news-making prodigy. Niamh has always had a vivid imagination. There were some very questionable games where Niamh took advantage of my youthful innocence, where Princess Toletta used to parade around Prince Toto on her back, giving commands and bossing others around. Not much has changed on that front. And don't even get me started on Uncle Tarn. Princess Toletta and all the fun and games were retired when Niamh went off to secondary school. Colosh used to go on. At this point, Niamh became too cool for family life, and my abiding memories of these years are of the smell of straightened hair, henna hair dye, and a closed bedroom door. Thankfully, things picked up again when I joined her Nisagon. We bonded over the usual things like teachers, perfectly timing the 116 bus, and pouring Mum and Dad's watery porridge down the kitchen sink. From then on, the bedroom door was always open, and through all the ups and downs of my own life, Niamh was always there for me in my corner. From early on, we knew that Niamh was driven, independent, and just a little bit stubborn. But she didn't lick that off the stones either. On our last family holiday abroad, emphasis on last, we were navigating through the hills of Lake Como in search of sustenance, pizza. We came to a crossroads, metaphorical and literal. Dad was convinced that the restaurant was one way, whereas Niamh was adamant we should go the other way. Off they both marched in opposite directions, leaving myself, Mum, and a sobbing Sive stranded at the crossroads. To this day, I'm not sure who was right, but I'm sure they'll both claim that they were. As Niamh, Sive, and I have grown up, we always admired the close relationship our mom had with her sisters Ev and Colette, commonly referred to as the sisterhood. From outfit planning to trips abroad to being there for each other through thick and thin. However, it was touch and go when we were younger due to many fights and rows if we'd ever be able to emulate this close bond. I often played the role as peacekeeper between us from an early age, but thankfully with time and maturity from Niamh and Sive, we were able to create a special relationship and with each other, and our own sisterhood has been formed. Fast forward a few years, and there's a new man on the scene. Given that Niamh is such a formidable woman, we immediately christened him Brave Brian. His nickname proved prophetic when he entered the lion's den the first time he met the family. Dinner was booked for 7, and the McGilligood family, ever punctual, arrived on the dot. After 5 minutes, the phone was out. Messages being sent, and we were assured Brian was on his way. Messages then became phone calls, with Niamh up and down from the table, her patience wearing thin. After half an hour, still no sign of beam on. The rest of us were making eyes at each other, saying, is this guy even real? And then if he is real, we were more worried for the wrath that he would face upon arrival. Eventually, Brian arrived in a perfectly ironed shirt. Not a hair out of place, completely unfazed. He put an arm around Niamh, ignoring the daggers and the elbows, and proceeded to charm us all and defuse the ticking time bomb under his arm. From that point on, we were hopeful, and we reckoned this guy might be a keeper. Over the years and many glasses of red wine, we got to know Brian and could clearly see how he complemented our Niamh. While they are both highly driven and ambitious individually, the support they offer each other, not only in their careers, but in all aspects of their lives, means that together they truly are a force to be reckoned with. A force which I, for one, hope to always stay on the good side of. Oh yeah, we all got to see Brian's caring, protective side initially when Niamh became pregnant with Cara, where he minded her and went above and beyond to make sure she was comfortable and cared for, even if sometimes it did make Niamh a little bit more so, with the baby on board badge that he got her for the tube. Upon Cara's arrival, we saw Niamh and Brian grow even more as a couple and into loving parents. In other words, they really got their shit together. The fact that Cara is such a warm, happy, gorgeous little girl reflects the loving environment she lives in. Anyone who knows us knows how close we are as a family, not just the 5 of us, but as a broader family unit. From summers spent in Myasta, to pancakes and Evs, to more recent family hoolies with a few too many Sambuca shots and baby Guinness. We also have a very competitive streak, especially when it comes to board games. Christmas 2020, Brian had the privilege of having his first of many Magilligo Christmas celebrations. This was by far his biggest test to date. The pressure was well and truly on. In hindsight, there was no need to worry, as he can drink with the best of us and even manage to do a half-decent job of 30 seconds. So much so that even I would have him on my team in the future. Some of my favourite memories from the last few years are of us all sitting around the table in Wycliffe, drinks flowing, the Tato out, chatting and laughing well into the night. A highlight of these nights was when Brian finally participated in a family sing-song, and he wowed us all with a rendition of The Cobbler. You might get that later on if you're lucky. Sive and I are delighted to welcome our new brother into the family. Officially, today, even though in reality you've been part of this family for years. You'll see you're finally on the Scrabble family tree in the bathroom. That means so much to you, and you'll see it when you go home to Wycliffe. So for now, we love you both so much. Can we all be upstanding once more? And cheers to the happy couple. Happy couple. Cheers. I don't know how to turn that off.
Now, the last thing to do before the food starts flowing is to do grace before meals. And Niamh looked at me and said, "You're not doing grace." I said, "Well, it's a very warm evening. So I have to tell people, don't overheat, don't overeat. O Lord our God, the great divine, who turned the water into wine, please prevent these foolish men who want to turn it back again. Eat well." So, without further ado, Niamh, you're why we're all here. Ladies and gentlemen, the blushing bride.
Hi everyone, Díomh Galer. Bhualam ar dús buchas a gháil le cúpla duine ach go háirithe. I'd like to start off by thanking a couple of people in particular for their contributions to this day. Firstly, to my new mother-in-law, Anne-Marie, for the absolutely stunning flowers. I'm so grateful to you for all the time and effort you put into making them so beautiful. I'm in awe of your talent, and it means so much to have you be part of the day in this way. Nikhil Toriintaka, the amazing musicians, Anya, Leonora, Gemma, Kate, Elsa, Niamh, Siobhan, and Katrina, the Black Velvet Band, back together for one day only. It doesn't feel like that long ago that we were getting kicked out of campsites at trad festivals for being too rowdy. And now, look at us, 9 children and very soon to be 10 between us. Hopefully not too soon, but music has always been such a huge part of my life, and I think that's because I grew up playing Irish music with such great friends. And I can only hope that Cara and the new generation will have the same opportunity and experiences that we all had. A couple of special shout-outs. One to Sinead Doyle, aka Spray South Dublin, who is responsible for the glowing tans of many of the McDonagh ladies here. and to George Gibbons for an impromptu Tuesday trip to France to get the wedding wine. A lot more last minute than I was comfortable with. And I would say up until yesterday, it truly was touch and go as to whether the wine would arrive, but everyone is enjoying the fruits of your labour now, so thank you. Nor hí mé síos leis an cúpla fáca seo scríb, bhí gá rud a tháinig chun cinn, buchas agus brod. When I was thinking about what to say for these few words, the two words that I kept coming back to were gratitude and pride. To my own family, my parents and my two sisters, Roisin and Sive, I'm so grateful to have such a close-knit family and proud to have been raised immersed in Irish language, music and sport, and an environment where I always felt so loved and supported, and as though there was nothing I couldn't do if I set my mind to it. I don't really have the words to express my gratitude for everything that you've done and continue to do for me, in particular since Cara was born. But I want you all to know how much I love and appreciate you, and I'm so proud to be your daughter and your sister. At 33 years of marriage, Tom and Sue have set an incredible example for us to follow. And one of the things that I admire most about you is that you always approach everything as a team. That feeds into the whole family. Like all families, we have our squabbles, but we always have each other's backs 100%. As well as being my family, you're also my best friends, and some of my happiest memories, as Roisin has already said, are of us all sitting around the table in Whitecliff, chatting, laughing, singing, usually just talking shite. There are so many things from our family that I've carried and will carry with me into my new family with Brian and Cara. Celebrating every occasion or win, no matter how small, Brian often jokes that we would pop a bottle of Prosecco for the opening of a fridge. Not letting anyone take themselves too seriously, and being a team and supporting each other unconditionally. As well as being in a Gilligode, I'm so proud to be a McDonough. No decision is made in my life, whether it be a nail colour, an outfit choice, a new job, or anything in between, without the approval of what Brian calls the committee. The committee on a given day might consist of the sisters, the immediate family, the cousins, or the full complement of the so-called dames and daughters. I'm so grateful to have grown up with such a close extended family, whether it was summers spent jumping into the Pollacoals in West Clare, or pancakes on a Saturday morning with the Doyles after Irish dancing. Sadly, my Irish dancing career never really took off, as Sinead and I generally came 4th and 5th, respectively, out of 5. But we really enjoyed ourselves, and you might see some interpretations of the moves on the dance floor later. As a few people have alluded to, the McDonough family love an occasion. And more than that, just love spending time together. There only has to be a hint that somebody might be calling over to someone else's house for a coffee. And next thing you know, the message has spread like wildfire through the WhatsApp groups. And suddenly, 7 women descend, bearing biscuits and gossip, not wanting to miss an opportunity to catch up with each other. I'm so lucky to have an extended family who are also my close friends, and I'm so proud that Cara has so many amazing women to look up to as she grows up. To my new family, the Monaghan's, I'm proud to now carry your name. It's a lot easier to spell. And I want to thank you for welcoming me into your family and for all the kindness and generosity you've shown to me over the years. From trips to Banbridge and North Ireland, and in recent years, your visits to Primrose Hill and St. John's Wood. As I've mentioned already, the relationship between cousins is a really special one for me. And seeing Cara playing with Cormac and Ava is just incredible, and I just know that they'll grow up to be the best of friends. It's also been great to get to know the wider Monaghan and McGee families, and especially the Collins sisters who visit us in London. And I look forward to many more visits and occasions in the future. Finally, to my new husband. When I went on that first date in the tap house in Ranelagh all those years ago with a recently ex-Matheson solicitor, it's fair to say that I never envisaged myself donning a hairnet to pack Thai takeaway in Newry. So it's fair to say you came with a lot of surprises. Anyone who knows Brian knows how kind he is, how hardworking, driven, ambitious, and generous to a fault. He's an incredible cook and is happiest when hosting elaborate meals for friends and family, where he'll promise to keep things simple, but inevitably end up cooking at least 4 main courses and using every pot, pan, and utensil in the process. One of the criteria for our forever home is 2 dishwashers. You're the most devoted and incredible father to Cara, and seeing how you are with her made me fall in love with you so much more. I'll never forget how you cared for us both after Cara was born and quite literally kept us together. Although we can be feisty with each other, you can always make me laugh, even when I'm annoyed, and you're a partner in the truest sense of the word. You support me 100% and push me to succeed in everything I do. Life with you is truly an adventure, and I can say with absolute certainty that it will never be boring. Okay, here comes the cheese. I mean, my cards to Brian are usually, Dear Brian, Happy Valentine's Day, Love Niamh, so this is a big deal for me. There's a quote I think about a lot from Johnny Cash, who, when he was asked for his definition of paradise, said, "This morning with her, having coffee," speaking about his wife, June. For me and Brian, the best time of the week is always going for a coffee and a walk on a Saturday morning, catching up on our week, and now with Cara in tow, it makes it even better. As much as we love a fancy restaurant, a big party, or a nice glass of red wine or champagne, or several, for us, the little things are the big things. So I'm looking forward to a lifetime of little things, coffee on Saturday mornings, and celebrating everything, big or small, with a glass of bubbles. I'm so proud to be your wife and to have our family together. And although I know you will hate this, I would love if everyone would join me in raising a glass to Brian.
Well done. Thank you so much.
Here, follow that. I have to keep this one short because his gun is locked and loaded. And I go last, so I don't want him changing cartridge. But to be honest, it's a singular honour for me to introduce my best friend, Niamh's groom, known to many of us as Brian Monaghan, but known to more of us as B-Mon.
Hello, everybody. Tom and Sue, Mum and Dad, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and to the 33 lawyers in the room, all of whom, with the notable exception of Colm Kitson, would have the faintest idea what to do if a criminal problem came against them. Unless, of course, it could be solved by redlining a document at 2 a.m. in the morning. Kind of a joke, but, you know, there's 33 people in the room that got that, the others didn't. So, humour, I'd say, is at about a 6. I think I'll go with Roast of Niamh, script B. On a serious note, Ta fáilte rua agaibh go léir inniu is more an honour dom a bheith seo than ma bhainceal nua, ma hailach nua, ma hailach agus ma carja. I really want to extend a very warm welcome to everyone here today. I'm honestly so happy to be standing here with my own family and friends and my beautiful new wife and joining such an incredible new family. A special mention to the bridesmaids, Roisin and Sive, who I think we can all agree look absolutely stunning. And don't worry, there's more on the McGilligod family in a minute. As again, everyone has mentioned, loads of people have travelled long distances. People have travelled near and far, Northern Ireland, England, Wales, Tanzania, Dublin 4. And of course, a big thank you to all Niamh's family from Rathfarnham, who've always made it sound like going into town is a bit of a trip to Antarctica. I'm really, truly glad everybody is here, surrounded by us all. It means the world to Niamh and me, and so thank you so much. Before moving on, I just want to say a very special thanks. Thanks to the musicians and thanks to Claire and her team here at the King's Inns. Everything has been amazing and the hospitality has been fantastic, so thank you so much. 2 of 25 pages. So before we move on, I just want to say a special thank you to all our families. All these people have shaped us, supported us, and shown what love is in everyday life. To my mum and dad, you've been my constants through good times and bad. You've always shown what it means to be compassionate, dedicated, and unwavering. I'm so grateful for your support, your guidance, and the example you've set. You've been the most wonderful grandparents to Cara, filling her with love, laughter, and learning. God, she loves those blocks. Mum, your flowers today, as everyone said, have been amazing. They're absolutely stunning, and they've meant so much to us during this day. And also just a word of thanks as well to Ciara and Stephen, Cormac and Ava, and Neil and Vanessa, who are here and have always been here. And then to Niamh's wonderful family, and extended family, as they've all talked about. Tom and Sue, your warmth and kindness have been really unbelievable. You've embraced me from the start, from the joyous cycling trips, not always joyous, but we did get there, to fun Locktown adventures, from singing around the Christmas crib. You really do embody such a warm family where laughter and sing-songs and shared moments fill every corner of the house. Observing the harmony between you guys and how you connect and support each other is really phenomenal. You've also been incredible grandparents to Cara, Mamo and Dado. Being playful and loving and generous, we really love spending time with you guys. Our best moments are drinking red wine around the Christmas table or around the kitchen table, and you've really included me from the start, so thank you. And to Roisin and Sive, Roisin just got married a few weeks ago as well to the wonderful Dara sitting here. And to Sive, who we discovered yesterday, both of us have been using the same toothbrush for the last few weeks. Now that is family closeness. Yeah. Yeah. Apparently they're all now in the bin. So as many of you know, Niamh and I did, we're the modern day love story. We did meet on Tinder. Niamh swiped right for destiny first. We exchanged a few messages and then radio silence. Either no reply or a mysterious message sent in the early hours of the morning. Whatever that was all about. Now for the business development enthusiasts in the room, of which there are many, you'll appreciate this. It's all about making the initial connection, following up consistently, and seizing the right moment. Until you get a definite no, it's always a yes. Or at very least, a maybe. But it wasn't until a chance encounter in Ranelagh that things really got moving. I was having a coffee with my uncle Kevin when I noticed Niamh sitting nearby with a very loud, very animated group of girls discussing the important moments of the day. I later found out that the group included Annie and Sinead and Niamh, all of whom are sitting beside me. Later that day, I took the plunge and I messaged Niamh again. This time, we set up our first official date, a Friday night in the Tap House in Ranelagh. I arrived a few minutes late. Fashionably, of course, as was my style back then, wearing the jumper that I'd picked up in Brazil. It said, "Rise to the top," in bold letters across the front with a massive picture of a tiger. Not my usual look back then either, but I thought it looked pretty cool. Niamh, on the other hand, thought it was idiotic. My first impression, Niamh was smart, funny, warm, and absolutely gorgeous. The conversation flowed effortlessly, and we found common ground very quickly. At the time, I was gallivanting around the world, pretending not to be a lawyer. Niamh, understandably, seemed very unimpressed, until I casually mentioned that I was a client of Arthur Cox, and knee-deep in a big transaction, suddenly things took a turn in my favour. A few gin and tonics later, which, funnily enough, I don't think we've really ever ordered since, we made our way to McSorley's. At this point, I was clearly hoping that, a kiss was on the cards. We had a couple of other drinks, a bit of a dance, and eventually was sat down by a bench to the door. I was figuring out when was the right moment, and after a bit of small talk, I plucked up the courage to ask. Niamh didn't hesitate and said yes. Just as I leaned in, a woman from Cork, I can only describe as a complete idiot, interrupted us both and asked literally, within that 2-second window, can I get my coat, please? We laughed, she got her coat. Thankfully, we got the kiss, and that was our first date. So the next day, I met my friend Val in Ranelagh. And I have two vivid memories of that day. The first is that when I was telling Val about the night before and the date that I had with Niamh, Val suddenly leapt up out of the seat, chased this woman down the middle of the Devlin in Ranelagh as I was mid-sentence telling Niamh. And I said, she came back, absolutely accosted her. And I said, what did you ask her? Well, I really liked her perfume. I thought it was really nice, and I thought I'd go and ask her what it was. Le Labo Sentinel 33, apparently. And secondly, I remember how much I enjoyed the night with Niamh and how badly I wanted to see her again. Over the next few weeks and months, we kept meeting, kept laughing, kept growing closer. It wasn't until a friend of mine casually asked in Blackrock, Darren, who's not here, so you two eventually are going out? And I said yes. And Niamh turned to me and said, are we? And I said yes. But both of us were secretly delighted. We met each other's families very early on, and Niamh played the harp at my sister's wedding. Quite an impressive +1 for very early on. Then came COVID, and fate would have it, we moved in together in Milltown, a really lovely apartment overlooking the Wicklow Mountains. As Jack, my best man here, would say, quoting Churchill, never waste a good crisis. And I assure you I didn't. Despite the chaos in the world, we really had so many happy times together, getting to know each other more deeply and building an incredibly strong bond. Eventually, it was time for a new chapter, and we made the move to London. We've been happily there for the past few years, first in Primrose Hill and most recently in St. John's Wood. And of course, by the way, we were joined by our wonderful daughter, Cara. But more about Cara later. Now, I'll admit, I didn't always have my sights on a younger woman. But believe it or not, there's a 4-year age gap between Niamh and me. It might not be obvious at first glance. But yes, while Jack and I were skipping college, lectures, drinking tea in our flat, Niamh was in 5th year geography class across the road in Coláiste, which was literally across the road. I wasn't planning really bringing this up today, but I had a chance encounter earlier in the week. I was sitting, minding my own business in Coffee Angel on South Ann Street, when I saw an older man stroll past, and he had arm in arm with a younger woman. And it got me thinking, what exactly are the documented benefits of marrying someone younger? And naturally, I turned to Google. The top result, an article from marriage.com. The world's #1 resource for marriage and relationship advice. And the article was called Marrying a Younger Woman, the Pros and Cons. It had over 23,000 reads, so it must be legit, but I thought I'd share a few highlights. The most obvious one is pro #1, youthful vim and vigor. A younger wife brings a contagious energy and a zest for life that can positively impact the older husband's health and well-being. You won't be able to sit content. She'll have you up and into the world. Where weekends were only meant to be very little, they're now filled with adventure. Her enthusiasm helps you with life, see life in fresh eyes. And I actually couldn't agree with you more. If it weren't for Niamh, I wouldn't have gotten into fitness. We wouldn't have traveled the world. And I certainly wouldn't have eaten in the coolest, hippest restaurants in London, many of them who don't actually even cook the food. So con #1. Marriage warns that your wife or younger person can make you think, maybe I'm a bit dull. And honestly, that's fair. Sometimes I go on and a bit of the story and Niamh has to tell me, please stop and move on to the next one. Pro number 2, according again to marriage.com, having a stunning younger wife makes you the envy of your peers, particularly your male friends, and earns you instant admiration. So I figured out how could I validate this. So I went on to my LinkedIn profile. In my case, I have 1,100 connections in LinkedIn, and about 70% of which I met after meeting Niamh. Coincidence? I don't think so. On a side note, and the business development enthusiast, I had quite a few connections this last week on LinkedIn, many of whom are in this room, and I'm not going to name any names. But keep going there, keep being relentless for the cause. Pro number 3, you'll keep up with new trends. And thanks to Niamh, I'm into my veggies and Axel Arigatos, and I even now have a subscription for the Financial Times. Pro number 4, and the most important one, the gift of fatherhood and family. Marrying a younger partner offers the profound opportunity to experience fatherhood. This shared journey of parenting can deepen your bond and enrich your relationship. And this couldn't be more true. How incredibly fortunate am I to have Cara in our lives. Being a father has just brought me so much joy and a renewed sense of purpose. Witnessing Niamh embrace motherhood with such grace and strength has been nothing short of inspiring. Her unwavering dedication and love shine through every moment. Observing Cara's determination and zest for life fills me with pride and gratitude. It's a daily reminder of the love and dreams that we've woven together. Niamh, you're truly my best friend, my confidant, my everything. Clever, compassionate, kind, and fiercely funny. That was Niamh's line. I'm incredibly lucky to be here with you here today, embarking on this exciting journey. And you're an amazing partner, a truly wonderful mother to Cara, and I love you more in more ways than I'm ever going to be eloquent to say. From different jobs, to different countries, to different trips, to different businesses, we've all shared countless experiences. There's been several iterations of us. Through it all, the good times and bad, we've always been there for one another, always caring. Your unwavering support and the love have always been my anchor. And I look forward to continuing this adventure with you by my side. As I mentioned earlier today, love is vast and deep, present in both waking moments and in our dreams. In the laughter, the quiet cuddles, and the shared experiences that shape our family. And truly, that's how much I love both you, Cara. At this stage, I'd just like to make a special thanks to Jack, my best man, who's been by my side and my best friend. But most importantly, I would like you all to be upstanding and toast to my beautiful bride, Niamh, and our daughter, Cara.
Joke's on me, huh? Follow that. So I think that I was purposely left last so that I wouldn't go on too long. But to give a short speech would kind of belie the man that Brian is. He's not a man of few words, and neither can this be, but I'll be as quick as I can. I'm going to let the handbrake down, and here we go. I first met the groom on our first day in law, UCD. And cover your ears, anyone who was with us 16 years ago. And although 16 years later, I'm the one in the political back room, Brian was always the front of house candidate. Not too many know this, but he was my first candidate. Within minutes of meeting him, we had a campaign underway. Brian, with me behind him, ran for class rep. And only a few hours after meeting him, our entire class identified Brian as the guy that you'd want by your side. And they elected him. And why did they elect him? They elected him because he knows how to show up, how to connect, and he's someone that you always want to be beside you. And over time, I realised that Brian wasn't just a great candidate for class rep. He was really a candidate to be a best friend. Because friendship with Brian really is a lifelong canvas. You might not see him for months on end. Then he knocks on your door when you least expect it. He asks no questions about where you've been, but somehow he's always present, even when he's late. He always arrives back in your life like he's never left it. He brings warmth, he brings mischief, he brings curiosity, and occasionally tall tales of questionable expertise. And like any seasoned campaigner, Brian really understands the importance of messaging. We met for a quiet pint earlier this week, for research purposes, of course. And I asked him, is there anything that I should avoid? Like, is there any third rail, anything that I shouldn't say in the speech? And Brian, very diplomatically and very carefully with words, said, maybe don't say that I'm full of guff. Which, in fairness, was never the line I was going to use. What I was going to say is that Brian has a gift. He has a gift at sounding like he's telling the truth. Even when none of us know what the truth quite is. Which is why, to be honest, he's the perfect candidate for marriage. Because now, sitting to his right-hand side is the party line, chief office's lines, what the company wants you to say, his wife. The truth, the party line, is to his wife, and now a man like Brian doesn't arrive at a day like today without a very important campaign in between. The campaign for the heart of Niamh is the campaign of his life. It's the campaign he has won. It's the campaign he has won for the extraordinary woman who he now calls his wife. And he gave a version of the campaign earlier, and I know that campaign did not start smoothly. He made the first move. He let it slip during our quiet pint at the start of the week that he sent an unrequited fire emoji. Niamh, wisely and calmly, didn't react. I imagine she assessed his efforts and thought, needs more work. But then, on that fateful night in McSorley's, they met in person, and the full Beam-on effect kicked in. Because Brian is a man who cannot be understood through screens, or bios, or bravados, which many of the people under 40 in this room know all about. Because Brian is a man that you have to see to believe. He's a man that you have to hear to be affected by. You see, he brings a magic. He brings a warmth. And when he walks into a room, he has a grin that says, I might have no idea what I'm doing, but it's fucking great. And to be fair to the bride, Niamh, you saw that. She saw the real Brian, and she gave him a chance. And thank God she did. Because Niamh brings a light into Brian's life that I'm sure many of us have noticed. A steadiness, a patience, a quiet strength that brings him to this moment today where I see a man that finally knows exactly what he's doing. She laughs at his jokes, she forgives his tangents, and Niamh, you love him deeply, clearly, and with that rare kind of love that isn't loud, but that always shows up. Yep. And together, they really have created something that's extraordinary. And what they've created is a home. I remember the very first time that I flew to London and met them both in their apartment as they'd moved in together. And it wasn't an apartment, it wasn't a place that they moved in together, it was a home. And I think that when everybody talks about their truly extraordinary hospitality, it's not Brian or it's not Niamh, it's the pair of them together. They built a home wherever they are, and we all experience that whenever we visit them. Now, I don't need to tell anybody in this room about how Brian talks about Cara. He talks about her with pride, with wonder, with a kind of unguarded joy that makes you remember what life is really about. Cara has brought more happiness, more meaning, more sleepless nights into Brian and Niamh's life than anything else. And in becoming a father, he has found something very special. Brian has found purpose. He's found patience. He's found, if anyone would believe this or not, he's found a routine. And he's risen to meet the challenge of becoming a father because once again, he was the right candidate to be a father. And today, he completes the final piece. Since I have known Brian, he's been a class rep, a friend, even a father. But today, he becomes a husband. And in doing so, he doesn't just take on a title, he earns it. Because Niamh, you're not just the love of his life. You are his compass. You are his calm. You're his reason for living. He knows it, and everybody in this room can see it. And from the very beginning, you just made sense. There was no big moment. There was no light bulb. You simply fit in Brian's life. You're strong. You're grounded, you're thoughtful, you carry a calmness that really softens a room. And of course, that didn't come from nowhere. Your parents, Sue and Tom, you're the real deal. Quietly generous, hardworking, kind. You're the kind of people who lead by example, not with noise, but with grace. You can tell that Niamh came from love because you live at Niamh so easily. And Brian's family have raised him on love too. Anne and Kieran raised Brian to live as the man we see today, a man of gentle patience, kindness, generosity, and love. And really, we're here today with two families joined not just by a wedding, but by shared values, and really, I suppose, a shared spirit. So today, after years of campaigning, convincing, learning, and occasionally winging it, Beamon is no longer anybody's candidate. We deem him elected. But we deem him elected by the only constituency that will ever matter. And that's love, family, friendship, and Dublin Base Out. And his greatest mandate yet is Niamh. So Niamh, Brian, and Cara, I don't need to wish you love, because you already have that. What I wish for you is this: that you continue to build something that looks like where you both came from, but that feels like something entirely new. That you talk endlessly, listen more, that you laugh often and forgive easily. That you never stop showing up for each other, for your future and for the life that you have always built day by day. You've had the best apprenticeships that anyone could ask for. Now it's your time. So let's raise a glass to Cara, to Niamh, and to Brian, to the future.
Oh my God.
Well done, Jack. Thank you.
Well done.
Well